going on, people? How are we? Welcome to Ancestrally Speaking, Saturday, August 2nd. New month, new beginnings, new ways, new affirmations, new goals. How are you feeling? How's August been good to you already? Good morning, Tamara. How are you? I hope everything's good. Hi to everybody. I'm excited, super excited today because we're going to be speaking about the Akan traditional religion. Now, we always are kind of speaking about, ATRs, and so Ifa, Lukumi, there's so many different variations, but we are going to talk about the Akan tradition. And I'm really excited because it's not something that's widely spoken about. And I mean, people do know about it in the, sort of small subsects, but today we're going to really explore with Ya. And I'm so excited, so excited to have Nana Ya join us. And so I'm just going to jump her in. So give me one second. Second. Welcome to Ancestrally Speaking, August 2nd. New month. Let's get it. We've got goals and all sorts to do. Nana Ya will be joining us in a moment. I think she's here. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and yourself? How are you?
Not bad at all. So good to see you. It's been a minute.
Yes, it is. It's been quite a while. Nice to see all the texting and talking.
Yes.
It's nice to see you face to face.
Yes, definitely.
It's a different energy.
I know. I mean, this is what COVID was coming to tell us. We need different
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Whatever you were doing before, stop it. You're not doing that anymore. You're going to do this. So,
Exactly. So it's been better. We find it's a lot of negativity, but it is, if you have a different mindset, you can find a positive in it. So many things that needed to be done. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Taking space for yourself, holding space for yourself, mentally, emotionally, physically. Yes. I hope people tapped into that.
Oof, I am.
Before it's lost.
Ancestors ain't letting me get away with anything. They're just like, oh, you're going to learn this period and you will be better.
Exactly.
At the end of it, I'm like, yes, I will. Sorry. Yes, I'll do everything.
Exactly.
So, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, because I'm super excited about today's Ancestry. So tell the people who you are. Uh-huh.
So my name is Nana Okomfo Ya Enyo Aboagye. I am a Nana AC Okomfo, which means I'm married. Nana AC. There's several different Bosum deities are part of the system that we practice, which is the quantity system from Latte, Ghana. And I trained and graduated in 2006, and I've been serving my community for quite a while now, doing spiritual work, and identifying ancestral connections with people, etc. So that is me. That's who I am.
Yay! So that's amazing. And so, as I was saying just before you jumped on the live, we know about Ifa, Lukumi, all sorts of different types of African traditional religions, right, or frameworks. And Akan is there. Akan is up there with the rest of them.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And it's the traditions of my people. I am Akan, and I need to. I'm not going to do a show like this and not be showing the respect to my people. So this is why I wanted to bring you on.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited because to me there's so much beauty in it, and so many things that there's bits and pieces that I saw growing up that I was like, why do we do that? What's that about? And it's all coming together now, and I'm just like, so I wanted us to just kind of do a rough exploration about what this African tradition religion is, how it kind of differs from the others, and also what was your spiritual journey to make, to being drawn towards it. So I think we can start there, you're an African American, right? Yes, I was just gonna say that.
Yes. So how it started was my parents, about, I want to say over 40 years ago, started looking, around that time, people were being woke and finding out that there was something else inside of them that was a little different from Christianity, a little different from Islam, a little different from Buddhism. And they came upon Nana Yao Paradini Zulu. He is the person, one of the persons, and one of the main people that brought Akom to the United States. So he was having different religious ceremonies, and my parents stumbled upon my mom first with her siblings, and then she brought my dad in, and their spirits settled there. Amazing. They found that this is where they belong. And so for myself, this is all I know. For my entire life, this is where I've been. My mom was having issues giving birth. She was having issues getting pregnant. And she went and did some spiritual work with Nana Yao Dini Zulu, and she it was divine that she would have a child. She did, which was me, and it was divine that I would do. Yeah, it was divine that I would do this work. I would do spiritual work, and that basically sometimes they say we'll lend you this child, but if we give you this child, she has to do this work. This is what she has to do. So my mother was a Nana AC Okomfo. She trained and graduated with the Nana Yao Paradise Zulu. My father is an Asofo, which is a position that's held in the Akonidi system. An Asofo can also be in other systems as well. But because we practice the Akonidi system, I'm going to address that. And he's an Asofo. Asofo is the overseer of the shrine house. He's the one that makes sure things are done in the shrine house. And so my brother is an Okomfo. I have several cousins and aunts and nieces that are also Okomfo. So this is, all it's through my family. It's my way of life. Yeah, so the Akom system is actually a way of life. The Akan religion is a way of life.
Religion's an odd word for it. And for any African tradition, it's an odd word. It's something we use, but it's an odd word because it really isn't that. It's a way of life. It's a lifestyle. It's a belief system of which you live every single day. Right?
Absolutely. It's something that, as I said, I don't know anything else. I don't know anything else. So it's literally the way I live my life. It's literally the way I live my life. I don't know anything else. And so at this time, I'm in this place, and it's interesting because living in this Western society, I was against this. My parents were making us do certain things. Think about a child who goes to public school and all the kids are eating pepperoni pizza, and a part of our taboos is that you can't eat pork. So I've never eaten pork in my entire life. So I was like, hey, what's that? I want to try that. I wish I could do that. You're not allowed to go to the beach on certain days. It's different, little things, and it's my life. However, when it's introduced to other children, you're like, I want to try that. I want to do that. So maybe in my teenage years, something happened in my life, and I started saying, hey, this is real. I think this is what I am. This is really where I'm supposed to be. And so I started taking it a little more seriously. And then probably in my early to mid 20s is when I went, they call it going under, or when the Bosum mounted me, they say a word like that. And then it was like, okay, no more playing now. You have to do what you were supposed to do. And so I went to train, and my teacher is in Ghana, West Africa. She's in the Ashanti region. I had to go there and train and learn the ways of becoming an Okomfo, learn my duties and my service to the community as, to become. And as you graduate, there's certain tests, there's certain things that you have to do to show that you are ready to and worthy to perform.
To do the work, take the stature, do the
Absolutely.
work. Right, okay.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what's the difference between a Okomfo and a Osafo?
Okay, so the Okomfo, the Sofo is the overseer of the shrine. So if you have a shrine house or a shrine family, the Okomfo is the overseer, to be sure that the duties are done in the shrine house, to be sure the sacrifices are done at the time, to be sure that the
just the processes
that
are
we're
happening as they
observing the
should.
holy days.
Exactly.
Yes, to observe the holy days, and he'll address the Okomfo. They'll work together side and side. The Okomfo and the Abrafo are the people that are making sure that are going to divine, speak to the because sometimes we have a ritual, we have a written and set up ritual that's supposed to do that we're supposed to do. However, sometimes as the Okomfo divines, the Bosum, the deities, the ancestors could possibly ask for something to change. The Okomfo will then consult with the Sofo and say, this is, they're asking for this today. And so this is how, that will change. This is their relationship. This is their relationship, and this is how they work together. The Abrafo would be the, they say the executor or the person who will help with this, there's certain rituals that they do that the Okomfo can't do. And so those are just a few of the positions.
Yeah. I love it because, with so many things that are becoming popular nowadays, right? We've got lots of stars that are out there that are kind of being quite open about, practices of African traditional religions and stuff like that. But there's a lot of work that goes into being a part of this system. You have a heavy duty on you, an incredibly heavy duty on you, which you might not even see as heavy because it's been your everyday.
It's my way of life.
Right, it's your way of life.
Absolutely.
But when I look at it, I'm like, could I do all of that? Like, it's a lot.
It's still heavy. I can say it's still heavy. Some days heavier than others. You still are responsible for certain people's spiritual journeys. Other people that come to you tapping into their spiritual intuition. So it is heavy. However, it's my duty. It's what I was trained to do. If it's something that I feel like is a little heavy, I have people that I can consult with. I have senior Okomfos
who support you,
who support me, who I can call, who are in my immediate family and also outside of my family. So I'm very grateful and happy that I have that community. Like I said, my aunts, my older brothers, my older cousins, sisters, I'm able to reach out to them, and I'm so grateful for that. My teacher as well, even though she's not here, I can call, I can have FaceTimes with her, and then I do travel to Ghana every, sometimes every year, sometimes every couple of years, so that I continue with Akom. You are constantly learning, and I'm sure with other traditions as well. Until you lay down on the ground, and even afterwards,
I love
constantly learning. You are constantly learning. There's never an end.
Right, and I've said that on this show multiple times, that you should be following people who are constantly learning, constantly improving, constantly questioning, and always seeking and finding out new things.
Absolutely.
Those are people, those are leaders that you need, not someone who's just like, I know everything and I'm just going to impart this knowledge. That's not how it works. Because we are having a human experience, no matter how connected we are to speaking to spirits.
Absolutely.
Like that, right?
And when people come to me, I also say to them, so we're going to learn together. We're going to, because there's something, even though they're not in my position, there's still something you can learn from everybody. And so I'm very open with people in that way. There's something that you can possibly bring to me that I'll be thankful and grateful for, and we'll use that to further ourselves in this life we've chosen or not chosen.
Right. And that's the thing. It's that, as you said, you learn together, and sometimes people come to you because you have to learn off them as much as they need to learn from you as well.
Absolutely.
I find that with the readings I do, there's usually a message in there for me where I'm like, I know that one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And something comes to you like, oh, wow, okay, thanks a lot.
And you're just like, okay, I heard that. Okay, this is really about me. Okay.
Absolutely. Even sometimes I could be doing a reading for someone and start tearing, and it's my spirit that's crying, or sometimes when some of the ancestors or the deities are going to come on you, they'll cry based on their history, based on what happened, based on a person's connection to them. So it reminds me of a human, that I'm still human, that this part of me exists. So absolutely. Excuse me.
No, go for it, please. Let's keep lubricated. So it's important to me to talk about Akan religion, and you know, there are things we can talk about, there are things we can't talk about, and that should be respected.
Absolutely.
But I mean, the Akan religion, which is Akom, right? Akom. I mean, why is it? What in your kind of? Why do you? Why, if you even believe this, why do you think it's like a pathway to freedom for Black people, especially Black people in the West? Do you know what I mean? And everything we experience.
What comes to me right away is because of slavery and tapping into ancestors, tapping into ancestors. A lot of people that come for readings, their ancestors have been waiting for them to come and
literally like
free them, because to free them, because ancestors are there to do the work. They've lived on this earth, and so with family members, they'll come and they're like, I've been waiting for you. I want to do the work. That's my position. That's what, and this is our belief. That's what the pathway that Almighty God set for us. That's the role He set for us. So the freedom is allowing them to walk with you and do their part to help you be free, to help you have a clear mind, a clear heart, you know, to make you hear, listen, see better, peace in your life. If you do, one is identifying, just to identify that they are here with you and they're walking with you. Faith that you understand that I believe, because obviously you're not seeing. Some people do see their ancestors in dreams, you know, in their life, because we're still living in a parallel world to them. But some people that don't, you come to get a reading, and there's you know, they're saying they're here with you. They know what you. Sometimes names come up, and I don't know their family members, and they're like, that's my aunt, or this is, you know, and sometimes it's not, but having faith and understanding, I really, you know, this is really for me. And it's how people come closer. It's how people, you know, and that leads to freedom. That leads to freedom of self, freedom of your spirit, allowing you to open up and be able to go on your journey and your path and what you're supposed to do. So that's how I connect the freedom. Also, there's certain deities that were in people's lives, right? They were in people's ancestral lineage from far, you know, far and they're back, like, we've been in your family for a long time. And people will come and say, my grandmother was a priest, or she dealt with spiritual work, and that grandmother passed away and nobody started that work again. And so it's for your family. That also leads to freedom. Leads to freedom. Because you're finally following the path of your family, your purpose, the path of your lineage. Absolutely. So to me, that leads to freedom.
And that's the thing, you know, many of the things that we can experience as humans, sometimes, a lot of the time, they're not even ours. They're things, they're pacts that have been made by others, ancestors. There's things that haven't been carried out that we
exactly.
You know, right? And some of it is like, why am I experiencing this? But you have to consult with the ancestors to know, to be able to steer yourself around it, through it, over it. You know what I mean? As I always say, and this is something we put on our page, is that use your army. They are your biggest army. They're there to protect, serve, and guide you. And honestly, since I've got in touch with my ancestors, and I always was, I just didn't realize, I just didn't give it that framework that these are my ancestors. You know, it was like, I heard a voice, I heard a message, I saw something, but it was always there. They've always been there. And it's such a warm feeling to know that I've got generations of people just standing here, just like, come on, girl, we got work to do.
Let them do the work. Let them do the work. Let them. They're waiting. They're here. They're waiting. They're like, I've been waiting for you. I've been wanting to do this work.
Yes.
I've had
let them do the work. Like, where have you been, girl? And I'm just like, I'm trying to tell them, like, you know. I thought someone was trying to say something, because I'm like, yes. They're like, where are you?
And then people have said they start hearing them louder. So they get louder. They're like, there's been a whisper, but now they get louder, and they're clearer. They're clearer about what they want to do and what they want you to do. And certain people also see that, wow, I'm able to go forward so much clearer, so much better in my life. I was able to identify this job I needed. I was able to identify this move that I needed to make, you know. So to me, the ancestral connection is very, very, very important. It leads you to a path that you can't even imagine is for you. It's
the successes, the joys, the peace, of the things that I've experienced since being on this has been astronomical to me. You know what I mean? I've been looking at it like, I did that. Like, we did that. You know?
And I also have to say that there is people, because I've watched people that are close to me that don't tap into Akom and don't deal with Akom, don't deal with any ancestral, even believe, and I'm looking at them like, you have no clue that your ancestors are with you, because I have the training and the medicines in me to deal with the connection, to deal with the parallel world. So sometimes I see them around and I'm like, you have no clue.
And this is something I also said. You know, when people are like, "Oh, won't he do it?" And I'm like, "That was your ancestors who did that. You giving the praise to the wrong people. Like, you ain't even like your ancestors did that for you." And it's like, "Won't he do it? God is great, and he is all those things, but he didn't do that for you."
Absolutely, because one thing we definitely believe in Almighty God. That's always been
Do you know conflict. People, where is it? Yeah, this
I see. Except God, except God, except God, and people believe, because we believe in spirits and deities and ancestors. People have this idea that we don't believe in God.
Right.
He's number one.
Also, because they believe there's only one God. That's the thing. We're not monotheists like that. We're not.
Theists, exactly.
We understand that there's many gods and there's different gods to serve, and that in all of that there is, you know, a sort of funneling of how we worship and where we're focusing our kind of thoughts and praise to. But it's not this one kind of, you know, which Christian frameworks push to you. It's
but see, I slightly, there is Odumakoma, so there is one God, and then he's given titles to different people too. Right. So we have a connection to him through the people that he's put down to serve between us. So he put the deities, then he put the ancestors, then he put other spirits.
But
so
we would say that Asasi is a god, right? We would say that
Asasi is a part of our system, and she's Mother Earth. So I'll go back. Almighty God, Asasi, the deities, the ancestors, and then the other spirits that are here to live. Because there's some other spirits underneath ancestors that not everyone can identify or see. A lot of times, a Okomfo or someone in a priesthood can sometimes deal with them or see them.
Yeah, I get you. And that's the thing, right? Because we've had this kind of Christianity and Abrahamic religions kind of pushed onto us, our understanding of like our traditional ways always has to go through that lens. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. And even I'm still learning, you know, I'm still grappling with things, and I'm always trying to decolonize my thought processes around our tradition. So I'm not saying, you know, it's just this and it's just that and we just do that, because that's not how the spirit world works. You know, like, you know, Abrahamic religion has turned it on its head and made us think it's this, and it's not.
Right? Even it's interesting because Seventh-day Adventist religions don't believe in ancestors. And I'm just like, how? As opposed to, that's just, as opposed to Pentecostal, like my aunt, she's Pentecostal, and I've gone to Pentecostal church and almost gotten possessed.
Well, this is it, because they're dealing with the spirit.
The spirit is so strong and so deep, and it's like they've been Pentecostal culture, religion has been put on them based on slavery, based on having to hide what they were doing there. But that is so African and so it's if you go and you have that experience, you're like, wow, this is so close to what we're doing. However, everybody has to find their way to express, you know, what it is. But this is my way of life. This is me. This is who I am. Again, I have, at certain times in my life, I have explored. I went to church. I went to a Rastafarian, I forgot what they call them. I'm sorry. Nyabingi, the Nyabingi circle. I've gone to that. I've gone to a mosque. I've tapped into a couple of different things just because at that time I wasn't ready to accept what was for me. And when I finally accepted what was for me, it's like, okay, I get it now. I get it now. And again, I'm still learning and still exploring and still, but I've accepted that this is me. This is my life. And I've accepted my position and what I'm supposed to. That was also hard to take on the responsibility of other people's lives, the responsibility of setting people in their pathway to do the things that they need to do. Difficult. It was very difficult.
It's a lot of responsibility as well.
Absolutely.
And also, one thing I've that my human side comes up is when, I'm empowering and supporting and helping people and releasing them from these issues. And then sometimes I'm like, I still have my issues, and and I'm still struggling through those. And, it's hard sometimes when you need the work done for you and you're doing it for others, and you're like, when am I going to get my break? I'm doing all these good things and these are the human ways of having to kind of manage the kind of energies that we have, the gifts we have to support others, There's a little statement here, or a question from Melanated Mystic, where she said, since ATRs are tied to different ethnic groups or region, what advice would you give to someone of the diaspora with no idea with what part of Africa their ancestors come from in choosing one to learn more about?
Sometimes a reading can come up in a reading.
Yeah,
I can't say all the time, but that can come up in a reading. I've done readings a couple of times where that's come up. Just recently I did one and that's come up. I can't say that's the end all to be all. And honestly, again, I'm learning all the time. And that's one way that I can say. Other than that, I can't really give full advice on that, but I know that I have seen it with my own. I've done it and seen it at other times, that it can come up in a reading when you deal with Akom or the Akan religion. It can come up in a reading.
I love that. And that's the thing, I've asked other people in the spiritual community who guide me, and I'm like, what do you think? And they're like, divine on it. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And it's actually the first stop, right? It's the first stop in finding the answers and connecting in the ways you want. Divine.
Absolutely.
Get a reading
divine
from,
on it. That's my biggest. That's pretty much the top of the line for me and my education, or where I'm at my education. That's where I would say
would start. I love that. And so, with the Akom tradition, I'm not going to say religion, I'm going to try and stop saying religion, but with the Akom tradition, how important...
Or the Akan tradition.
Or the Akan tradition.
Akom would be the religious part of it, or, actual word Akom means possession. But it's also, again, our way, how we connect with the ancestral world, with the deities, where we go for that part of the tradition, how we deal with that part of the tradition.
Right. So with the Akan tradition, how accessible is it to people? Because this is a thing, right? It appears to me, and I am a novice and a beginner, and I get my guidance from you. And so how accessible is it to people who are interested? Or what would the steps be?
Usually it's something that people bring someone else in.
Yes.
I can't. We don't advertise because it's not that tight. We don't advertise. We don't have our rituals and practice online and giving. You really can't Google and find out, because it's not that way. It's not how our ancestors and our ancestors have chosen for the culture to come about, for people to identify themselves and our home and to access it. So I can't. The only thing I can say is, Simone and I had talked about the reason why we were doing this is to give people access to the tradition. Yes. You're more than welcome to get my information from Simone. I also, even if it's something that I can't deal with, I have
so many
older brothers and cousins, so many others that can. I can refer you to if you're not able to get to me, or again, if it's something that I can't deal with. However, you're more than likely to get my information from Simone. But again, we're not advertising. We're not. So it's accessible. However, you would have to go through a certain route, through a certain way.
And you're usually led, right? You're usually led.
Absolutely. Sometimes your ancestors just lead you to it, and you'll say to you, I don't know how I ended up here, or what happened, and there's one, I'll give a story. So there's one young lady who came to me, and she came from someone in another state, and I really don't know this woman. And the young lady said that the woman told her to come to me. Oh, wow. And I'm saying to myself, I really don't know this woman. Yeah. However, you know, the ancestors speak through people, and you have no reason, but it was really time for the young lady to come. It was really time to find her path when it comes to the tradition. So you're led, and then you're also you know, you're led even by bumping into someone and having the person. It's usually you're led. However, it's also you could have stumbled upon a traditional ceremony was going on. We will invite people to that when we have traditional ceremonies, festivals that we have. Some people will come, and then the deities will possess someone there, and they'll address someone, and someone will, you know, learn a lot about themselves, and be led to come. So it's still being led, but that's another way. Yeah. Because we do have different holidays through the year, and we do have different religious functions through the year. So that's something else. If Simone is gives you my information, it may not automatically be that you just come to the shrine to get a reading. Sometimes I'll say, well, look, we're going to do this day so you can come. So Simone has been, Akwesi Day is one of the holidays that we have. It's every 40 days where we venerate our ancestors. And we will usually invite different people. Oh, if you know somebody, you can invite them. And that time, the Bosun may come, the deities may come, and give someone
a message,
information, a message, and so direction, and that could go into so many different roads. People come, and I'll tell them when they're coming, please don't have anything to do that day, because the Kusum and the deities and the ancestors have no time frame, and it's not about a watch. Because Simone, you know how long you stayed here. And it ends up that it's just conversation. It's not even all necessary. You'll come and just have a conversation with someone, and the conversation will last 2-3 hours. We always make a joke that this is the portal. People also, in the shrine.
This is how us black people, we never on time, because we don't care for time. Not in this linear sense.
Absolutely.
Not in the linear sense. So please, your ancestors will show you why we always late, or we always take so long, or when we gather, everything just has to be everything and oh my goodness. Please don't wear a watch on that day. It's not worth it.
No, it's not. It's not. You're into the, the portal is just a joke, but the people in the shrine family, because we'll go to the shrine at 8 o'clock, and the next thing you know, it's 2:30, and then the next thing you know, it's 7 o'clock. You're like, how happened?
Right.
What happened?
This is it. But then when you're with your people, you just,
absolutely. Because a part of it, we're still human, so we're still doing human things, and we're still joking, and we're still laughing. We still have to eat, so we'll eat together. We'll pause for a second. So we're still human, so we're still doing human things, and then we go back into the spiritual. So
I love it. I mean, it's so funny, because there's things, I call it ancestral memory. There's things that we do in the diaspora which we don't really know why we do it, but we all do it collectively. And it's like when we start convening with our ancestors, like, oh, this is why we're doing this, and this is why we're like that. And it's a beautiful thing to connect the dots, because it's really a 360 moment. And I think I've spoken about this before on Ancestry speaking, is that, me as a first generation Ghanaian who was born and brought up in London, right? It's being taught so wonderfully, her traditions, by an African American, and I think that's beautiful. I think, there's a sadness that we had to have an interruption that divided us. So you're now called an African American, and I'm called what I'm called. You know what I mean? Because to be frank, we're all the same, right?
Absolutely. I'm African.
Right, exactly. But the beauty is that I can get my teachings from, I can get my learnings from you, that I have come to live in America, and look what I'm doing. I'm reconnecting with my source here. And I just think that in itself is the most beautiful thing ever. And the slight sadness I feel is that look at what we've had to experience to get here in 2020. That's where a little bit of my sadness comes, because there's been pain through that. There's been oppression, there's been all sorts, which was not necessary. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But the beauty and the resilience and the success is that we're doing this we're doing
absolutely, and we're doing all we can. I've dedicated my life as an Okomfo to
Yes.
make sure that happens.
Yes.
Older Okomfos in Ghana have started to say now, you all are going to be teaching what is Akom and what is the Akan tradition. That's what's going to happen. Because Christianity is taken over and the diaspora is taken over, and so it's a lot of it is social. A lot of it is social. It's popular and it's nice and it looks
and
good
everyone's
to be
doing
in the
it.
church and everyone's doing it. So it's like, oh, I'm on my way to church. Oh, you're not on your way to church? What happened? So I'm not saying that they're not that they're not understanding or taking in the teachings of Christianity, but a lot of it is social. And so right now it's so popular with the younger people that they're not interested. Sometimes the deities have their way of saying, I don't care, this shrine was in your family and it's going to come on you and there's nothing you can do to stop it. However, they're like, I don't care, we're coming. But a lot of it is popular and it's social, and they're not looking at this. The older Okomfos die and the shrines, it died with them. The deities die with them. No, let me not say that the deities, but the shrines are put down. No one's picking them up. Nobody's
feeding
doing
them.
the work.
One's exalting them, praising. Yeah, exactly.
Now we're coming, searching and looking for and identifying who we are. And so we're going and taking trips and finding out, oh, something here is for me. And the older Okomfos are, passing it on to us. And so we're open and willing based on our experience, our ancestors' experience. We're now coming towards this journey. We're saying we're taking it on,
and it's funny that, isn't it? Don't you think like there's something about being of the diaspora that makes you look back? Because I feel like we've been socialized into all these systems. We're like, this ain't it. This ain't it. This is not it.
Yes.
And so that searching leads you to answers, and the answers are within the ancestors, our ancestral traditions and things like that. And so it's odd, isn't it? It's odd that it's the diasporans who are coming back into this, wholeheartedly embracing, promoting, giving people access. And but to say that, that's not to say that continental Africans are not doing the work. That's not to say that. But there is something
because there is quite a few.
Yeah, there is, and we shouldn't be so kind of like generalized, which we're not. But there is a sort of assumption that nobody in Africa is practicing.
Let's correct ourselves. I'm glad you correct us. Let's correct ourselves.
Exactly, because it's easy to feel like that though, because Christianity has been such a cloud in Africa, and I say cloud because it hovers and it sits.
Absolutely,
and it's not about, and things that hover and sit do not free. They do not exalt. They do not empower.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And I do have a couple of younger friends that are Okomfo, so I can't say it's everybody, but it's a great part of, and I can really speak more for the Ashanti area. I can't really speak for, because that's what I'm familiar with.
Exactly.
And I definitely, as I've seen people grow, younger kids that are children of Okomfos. I see the majority of them are going towards Christianity. It's not a whole lot of them that are taking on the tradition.
Right. It's so we spoke about the 360 sort of moments that we've had, that I come to you for my teachings to understand a deeper way into my culture, right? And I say my as in it's ours collectively, know that. But how, one thing I understand is that culture, and this is also something about African cultures, right? That it's always about it living. That's why it wasn't really about it being written down and it being kind of encapsulated in the ways that Europeans and other cultures do. It was about us living it. So I guess I want to know from you is, how do you see Akan tradition? How do you see that sort of, does it evolve? Does it stay the same? What do you see? You know what I mean?
It definitely evolves. It definitely evolves, because as I said, the deities can come, our ancestor can come and add something on to what it is that we're doing and bring different people in. Yeah, they can come and add something on absolutely to what it is we're doing and say, we're going to add this on. I'm going to make this for this person. And that person could carry that on with their families. So I definitely believe it's evolving. It's also evolving because different people are coming now and identifying, this is for me, this is it. And they'll hopefully continue to move forward, pass it on to their children, their cousins. I've seen definitely different people who have come. I want to bring my siblings. I want to bring my aunts. I want to bring my cousin. I want to bring my mom. And they've, decided this is for me. I'm going to say, so I definitely see it evolving in that way, 100%. I definitely see it evolving. I'm excited about the direction it's going. It is a lot of responsibility. It is a lot of responsibility, and it's not just on me. But I know some family members of mine who have shrine families that are evolving all the time. Several people that are training to become Okomfos. So look at the road. So if you have 10 people that are training to become Okomfos, what direction direction that they could go can evolve into so much. It can their children could come in, their family. So it is definitely evolving all the time. It's definitely evolving. Sometimes a deity will come and create a song based on a situation that's happening at that time. A person could come, a deity could have done something for them, and it's more so people who are familiar with the language, and a person could come and praise the deity based on something that the deity did for them and create a song. So that's evolution to me. So it'll be added on to how we, maybe not everybody who practices, but in that particular shrine family, for that family. And so that's one way that it's evolving. So I definitely, an ancestor can come and create something that they want their family to do. So, or create based on their situation or based on something that happened in their lineage, and so that's evolving also. So there's several ways. I definitely believe it's evolving. Definitely,
I love
people are becoming more conscious of where they need to go. Christianity is definitely still here, but people are becoming more conscious. Like, there's something else out here. It's not just this. There's something. There's something. There's another piece to the puzzle that I need to identify and find. And so,
it ends up being the only piece that's
starting exactly.
Like, oh, this all came from that.
Yes, exactly. Now I'm so much clearer. I can fight this fight. I can get this going on. And it doesn't always become training for priesthood. It doesn't always become that. It's just it doesn't always become that. It's just you come to address and identify what your family needs, or just maybe what you need to consciously do what you need to do. That spiritual intuition that needs to help you move forward and what your mission is.
And that's
your mission personally, not necessarily everything for your family.
And that's something that I've mentioned before in another conversation, is that I really think a lot of times that, the kind of first port of call is kind of sorting out our lineage, right, as Black people, because there are so many things that have taken place that there are things we have to really scrape out the toxicity, throw in a little bit more goodness here, end that kind of abuse here. You know what I mean? There's lots of things that we've got coming down our lineage, not just us, a whole, people all over the world. But I just feel like for Black people, if we look inside of the roots of which we were born and the pathways we traveled to be here the way we are, then we can undo and start releasing ourselves to the bigger successes that we want for ourselves. And that's not just financial and economic. That's not what I mean with success. I'm talking about peace. To get peace in this time is success. Joy. If you want children, to have children, that's success. All of those things, because that's about carrying on lineage. So it's important that, when we do this work, we do our purpose. We live that purpose. And because it's going to probably release so many other things for so many other people. And I like that you mentioned that not everything ends up with you being a priest, an initiated priest.
Absolutely.
That sometimes it's just, you just had to clear this bit
I just made that an example of evolving. but it definitely doesn't always. It could be someone comes to do some work and get a reading and have things done for them, and that will be the last time I see them, and their life is now flourished and open, and their purpose has been identified, and they keep moving on. Every once in a while somebody will check in, and maybe they don't, but that's fine. I did my piece and they did their piece. I did what I'm supposed to do as far as me. And to me, peace, all of this begins with faith. All of this begins with faith. If you're faithful and you do your part, meaning identify first what it is that's going on, and have faith that when you do this, or you've accepted what you're supposed to do, then things will open. If you have faith and believed in God, number one, and you have faith and believe that your ancestors have sent you on this path, then things will open and move forward. Even if you're not someone who decides to do our homework or come in and get a reading. I feel like just me being in a position that I am and having this talk with you, I would love for our people to have more faith, to have faith in who they are, faith in their spirit, knowing that your spirit, you can be God. You can be we have to call on our spirit more. We have to call on our own personal spirit more to do the work. Sometimes you're not able to reach out, but if anybody's hearing me today, call on your own spirit to give you faith and to move forward. Figure out who you are, and if that sometimes it does come with, if you just hold space, be quiet, take a minute, learn who you are, call on yourself, it can lead you to a great path. It can lead you to a lot. People are scrambling and their minds are all over the place, and they're not holding space and taking time for them. They're not taking the time. Right now, when time with COVID-19 is here, this is a time where you get a minute. This is a prime time where you get a minute to hold space. You get a minute to take time to call on your own spirit to help you move forward. So if you don't, you asked about accessing Akom, accessing the Akan tradition. Okay, so if you don't, you still have to have faith, and you still have to call on your own spirit. One of the things that we believe, and it's something that I always have to go back to what I know, my culture, how I was raised. We believe in the day you were born. There's different names for the day you were born, right? So, so we talk about, and this could be a lot for people, but we talk about if anybody is able to write anything down, and we could go over this again if they like. On Monday, there's a name for Monday, which is Adjoa or
is it Kojo?
Kojo, Kwajo. On Tuesday, it's Abana, Kwabana. And a lot of this changes also depending on what region.
Tribe. Exactly.
Yes, what region or what tribe. I'm saying that to say that if you're able to, sometimes the spirit is in that name. The spirit is in, so you can call on that name or that spirit. And if you don't, you call on the name that your parents gave you, because they believe in whatever the name, sometimes they give you the name of your grandmother or your grandparents. Call on that spirit, call on that name to help you move forward. And then have faith that is giving you the path that you need. That is enlightening you. That is clearing your mind and helping you understand and enjoy this life. Enjoy what is for you. Enjoy. People feel guilty sometimes. People feel guilty sometimes. People feel guilty sometimes. I don't know how to enjoy. I shouldn't. Taking that 3 to 10 minutes just to enjoy who you are, enjoy your purpose, and be faithful. It does a lot. It does a lot. It does a lot.
You know what I'd love? People in the comments, tell me what day you were born, and if you know your Akan name or your Ghanaian born day name, please put it in there. Carlin Noir says that she was born on Sunday, so you would be Essie if you were Fanti, and in the Shanti you would be Okoshua. Amma for Saturday. Yes, hello. We've got Ya because you're Thursday born.
Yes.
Also the creator Naomi. Why is my Asasi Ya? She's because Ya Thursday
She's
today.
yes,
Creation.
yes,
That's her
Thursday.
day.
Yes,
You know,
yes, yes,
Afia.
yes.
Okay. Oh,
Yes,
hello.
Friday F4. Friday is F4 or
Yes,
Afia.
Afia. Yes. And this
Yes.
is the thing, like you've got all of these different. We've got Yawa, which is Evet. I'm
Which is
telling you,
every
people,
that's
we got a
Thursday.
lot of pronunciations.
Yao is the male
Yao
for
is the name.
Thursday. Yeah, and depending
Yeah,
on what region, Yao could be spelled
exactly.
Yao or Yaw,
Yes.
depending on the region.
Read it. So we have Saturday born is Amma if you're a girl. Boy, is
And
it Kwame?
Kwame.
Kwame if you're a boy.
Yes.
Sunday, Essie or Akoshua as a
Oh,
girl, the
Koshua.
lady, Akoshua. And then
Kwesi.
Kwesi. Yeah, exactly. So
Kwesi.
yeah, we got a name for each day, and it means something actually, and it shapes your spirit.
Absolutely.
It shapes your
But
spirit.
it doesn't stop you. I'm
No.
just going back to what I know and how I was taught. But again, call on your name. Call on the name that your parents gave you. They decided that this is the name for you. A lot of times it has a grandparent, an auntie. It has a junior, from, one of your parents. I've heard lately women name their children. It was always known for a father to name, their son. But I've heard lately a couple of women that have named their daughters after them. So just call on your own spirit. Your parents gave the name to you for a reason. Call on yourself if you don't have access to these other names. I went to them because this is how I was trained and how I learned. But call on yourself and have faith that you're going to give yourself what you need to move forward and what your path is, what you're supposed to be doing on this earth.
I love that. I love that we can have this conversation in 2020 that,
Absolutely.
two diasporans are having this, I'm English distracted, you're American distracted, and we're having it and we're reclaiming and we're becoming back to ourselves and we're really empowering ourselves with ancestral technologies, which they laid down for us, right? There are so many tools that they have, like, listen, if you're having this issue, this is what you do. And you're like, you got ingenious because you just knew, like when I did all the things I learned with the Adinkra, I'm like, every element of my life, there is an Adinkra sign for it to tell me what to do. It's amazing.
Yes.
It's
proverbial.
amazing.
Adinkra is proverbial, and it's one of the ways that we as Akans live too. Proverbial. We have a proverb for everything, and it's like, you're speaking to an older person. You have a proverb, a proverb for your name, a proverb for how you walked in, a proverb for
if the morning, then you will fill it up.
Yeah. A proverb for the way the bird walked inside your compound for the day. There's a different proverb. However, this is how they lived. This is how they were able to thrive during slavery as well, because they had to have code word in order to not let the master hear or understand. So they mean something. It helps you, move through your day and your life. I just wanted to also tap. I'm sorry. I just wanted to also tap into this. Just coming outside of being in Okomfo and finding another road that I wanted to help people tapping into my healing spirit that I have. Nana AC, the Okomfo that married me, she is about family. She's about healing. And what I did was I went to school for massage therapy. And I also became a CLC, which is a lactation consultant. And and so that's outside of being a Okomfo, that's also the way I chose to heal outside of. So there's other ways that's not in Akom, that's not in a Akan tradition, that you could also be healing and helping people. But you need to, before you start dealing with other people, you need to deal with yourself first.
Hello.
You need to deal with yourself first. There's people who have come and said, I want to get married. Deal with your own spirit, deal with yourself. But I chose to find, because it's not everybody who's going to come and get a reading, which we've already talked about. Come and get a reading inside, but you can still help to heal people, but deal with you first. Don't start going to people. But that's how I chose. That's how I chose. Yes,
There's a lot of people
you
out here
need
telling me
to
that they're
heal
healer,
yourself.
and I'm
Tell
like,
it, yes.
you need to
And your energy
heal.
is, your
Yeah,
energy is, out, but please make sure you heal yourself first.
please.
I have decided, like I said, I didn't always accept this journey, but I've
Yes.
accepted. I've done what I needed to do, but another way that I wanted to heal and
Heal.
tap
Yeah.
into people's energy, help people, was becoming, I'm very passionate about women breastfeeding, especially in low income communities where it's not
Yeah.
promoted as
Motive.
well. And
Yeah.
so again, this is my way. I believe Nanaisi pushed me even
Into
more
that.
because
Yeah.
she's about women
More.
giving birth, and I just felt like that
Yes.
was a way for me to come outside of
Exactly.
Akom and Akan
Yes.
tradition, but to still touch people and help heal people. Some of the things that come up while I'm giving a massage, or some of the things that come up while I'm in a lactation consultation, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
An energy I may feel on someone, and
Yes.
I don't necessarily promote them to come to the shrine, but I feel like just the touch or just the conversation. Sometimes the conversation is just, sometimes will pull things out of people that you can't
Yeah.
even imagine. We
Yeah.
talk about, you and I spoke about just being here in the shrine house and having
Yes.
conversation and bringing things. So sometimes
Yeah.
conversation is enough. So I just wanted
Right.
to say those, and not even necessarily to bring clients in or anything, but there's other ways outside of a tradition, outside of a cone, especially living in this Western society, that you can help heal people.
Yes,
But
definitely.
take care of
And I
you
love that.
first.
Ooh,
Take
yes.
care of
And also
you. Take
protect your
care of you.
energy when you're healing others as well. That
Absolutely.
was always a big message you
Absolutely.
gave me. And it's something that, it has to be within
Absolutely.
our everyday. It's spiritual hygiene.
You
You know
can't
what I
help
mean?
everybody. You can't help everybody. You can't,
No,
some
no.
things, you can't
Yes.
help everybody.
Yeah, you're
Definitely
right.
protect your energy.
Yes.
I have a feeling and an idea about who I am and what I do, that my energy is protected. And the road that I'm on, they're not going to really send me to any and everybody.
Right,
But even
right.
if they
Yes.
do,
Yeah,
I will feel that, and
exactly.
this might
You'll
not
be
be for
able
me, and I'll
to.
address them in a different way.
Right.
I'll just address them in a different way.
Yeah, I get
So it's
you.
not like I'm just going to get up and walk away and say, nope, I can't talk to you.
Yeah.
I can't, I'll
Not
just,
touching you.
I'll, I'll address them in a different
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, I get you. This is like, I'm so ecstatic about this
Yeah, the
conversation. Like,
conversation has been
seriously.
amazing.
Right? And it's
More than
just
I even expected, the direction
right.
that it's taken.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying to you. It's a conversation because I want people to understand that this is a living cultural tradition. The people part of it are like you and me, but not really like you and me, right? You know what I mean? We got all our different levels of gifts and what we do with it. But what's really important is that it is for you, right? It is for you to come and claim it. You know what I mean? And yes, we don't always know our lineage. And yes, we don't know, but those are the answers you can get through these things. And it might even direct you somewhere else, but at least you
And
have the
exactly,
answer.
which is why I talked about massage and CLC.
Right.
It's not always just about this, but tap into who you are. If you're African American and you're Black, you
Yeah.
have some lineage that
You
has
got
to
it.
do with slavery, and you have some ancestors that are, and even if you're Caucasian, you still have ancestors. You
Oh,
have
yes.
some ancestors outside, East Indian, and
Right.
different.
Right.
There's a lot of them practice ancestral work and practice
Oh,
ancestral connection
yes.
and ancestral intuition. It's more, our people have a really
Ah.
hard time, and not all, but a good part of them practice
Yeah.
some type of
And maybe that's
ancestral.
why white supremacy is so buoyant, because they're practicing.
And we've been
Right.
told so long, you
Right,
can't,
right. You
don't do
can't,
that,
why do you think they're
you
saying
can't
that to
practice.
us?
Exactly, because they know
Right.
how powerful we
Powerful it
are,
is.
and they're like,
And how it
no, 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 we
sustains.
can't let them, we can't let them get above us. But now we have it. It's here. Tap into it. Find
Yes.
you. Let your
Yes.
ancestors be your army. Work for you.
Yes.
Tap into who you are.
Yes, definitely. I love this conversation. We have a minute left. So, where can people find you? As you said, I can share your contact details if people get in touch and things like this. But if there's anywhere
Yes.
publicly where people could find you, I don't know if you're Facebook, I don't know, whatever you feel
No,
comfortable with.
they can email me. My email is ya79 at AOL.com.
Okay,
yes, I'm
great.
still using AOL.
Hello, you got my
yeah, 79 at AOL.com.
Oh,
so
my
you
God.
can
This is
contact
so
me
good.
there.
Yes.
You can contact
Brilliant.
me there. Send your emails, if you have any questions, if you want to come for a reading, different things like that. And again, there's a whole community, so we can help one way or another.
Definitely. Thank you, Nana,
Simone.
for everything.
This was amazing.
This was amazing. Thank you for your time, your knowledge, just giving us
Absolutely.
this gift and access. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful.
You're very welcome.
All my love to you.
Yes, same
and
here.
Thank you for the work you do, because this ain't easy. But
yes,
take care.
take care.
And we'll
All
speak
right,
soon.
bye bye.
See you later.
Okay,
Bye.
bye bye.